Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because I recently did an ink swap with Danielle from my Dandelion Diaries, and this time around she sent me a ton of Atomic Element inks from Birmingham Pen Company, which is an ink brand that is really difficult to get in Canada, although there is one online retailer who does sell Birmingham Pen Co. samples and full ink bottles. Ever since Danielle sent me the original batch back in January, I have been obsessed with Birmingham Pen Co. There's always a pen in my collection that is inked up with one of the Birmingham Pen Co. inks. I've been doing a tour in my different pens and I really love this brand. So when she sent me these Atomic Elements and told me that they could be used to create some of the other inks on their website, I am so grateful. Thank you, Danielle. I cannot wait to try out some of the recipes, and I've got a couple of pens that I recently cleaned out, so we're going to use the samples that she sent me. We're going to try out 2 recipes, and then we're going to ink up these pens and see how it goes. I'm so excited! So Danielle, in case you are watching this, thank you so much for sharing these samples with me. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to settle in with a drink and a snack and a cozy activity. Maybe grab some inks and do some ink exploration with me. Today I am working on a tea. It is the ginger peach herbal tea, and let's hang out and play with some fountain pen inks. To start, I will say that I have already opened all of these samples that Danielle sent me, and I did do a swatch in my 5-year journal in case you want to take a look at what these Atomic Elements look like just on their own. The ones that she gave me were Ladybug, Saltwater Taffy, Teaberry Ice Cream, Tiger Lily, Yorkshire Canary, Electron, Hibiscus, Airline, Snapdragon, Sterling Silver, and Gunpowder. And she sent me this favorite mixes from Birmingham Pen Company, and the 2 that I am going to try making today are Root Cellar and Sugar Kelp. The Sugar Kelp is the one that I'm the most excited for because I've been staring at that ink on the website for so long, and I can't believe that I'm going to be able to try mixing it today with the Birmingham Pen Co. Atomics. In terms of supplies, I have 2 empty sample vials that I'll be making these mixes in. I have my little pipettes that came with my Dominant Industry inks. Of course, I have all the samples that she gave me. I've got this tape dispenser that I'm using to house the samples so they don't fall over. And then this is something that I have made for my ink samples. It's just a matte sticker paper, and I measured out rectangles. I can't remember the exact measurements, but I can share it in the description if you're interested. And I tried to fit as many as possible on the sheet, and then I made little circles, and this is what I use to label my ink samples. I recently changed the blade on my Cricut. That's why this didn't really cut properly, but this is really useful for labeling. So it's just easier than having to cut out pieces of paper on my own, and I have tons of sticker paper to use up. So I'm going to actually go ahead and label these now before I forget. Okay, so I've labeled these, and I'm also going to add 2 of these dots on top of the lids. Okay, so I've got my 2 little vials ready, and what I usually do as well is I usually just add tape around here to be safe. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. I've got my old reusable coffee filter that I have retired and now I use for inks. I've also got my Kakimori brass dip pen. This is a relatively new purchase. I wanted a little more variety with the swatches that I was able to make with my inks, and instead of my traditional approach, which was a paintbrush and my dip pen, this Cellar dip pen, even though I'm still getting used to writing with it, I like that you can get a lot of variety with different lines, and it does actually hold a lot of ink. So I'm going to use that. The only thing I haven't really figured out exactly is how I'm going to mix everything in, but I don't think it matters too much because I'm going to try to make really small batches to start. So let's see what this makes first. I'm going to start with sugar kelp, and that is using Tiger Lily, Sterling Silver, and Airline. So I'm gonna find the Tiger Lily, okay, Sterling Silver and Tiger Lily. I think that's this color. Yep. And Airline. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get gunpowder. I am going to need for the other one, and Yorkshire Canary. So these are the inks that I'm going to need for this. And I was going to get my scale, but I didn't, and I don't want to grab it now. So we're just going to go with the pipette drops, and we'll try to do the portions that way and cross our fingers that this is similar enough to their mixes. So I'm going to start with sugar kelp. And it says I need 10 parts Tiger Lily, 2 Sterling Silver, and 5 Airline. So we'll start with Tiger Lily, which is this ink. So I wonder if I should perhaps mix them at the same time, since they both use Tiger Lily. Okay, so I'm going to try to do these at the same time and just cross my fingers that I don't make a mess. I do need to figure out a better way to hold these ink samples because right now this feels very precarious. I'm just going to grab another washi tape to try to minimize the amount of falling. I don't know how difficult the drops are going to be, so we'll learn together. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm curious to see how much that actually was. It's probably very small. It's a very small amount, but I think we are going to just stick with the very minimal amount because if I want to try out other colors, I just want to leave room for that. So got a blank page from my Hobonichi A6, and I'm going to swatch these at the same time over here. Just gonna very carefully put this over. One page is going to be sugar kelp, and then one page will be root cellar. So I'm just going to start by swatching the colors that are going to go into it. And because Tiger Lily is a bigger amount, I'm just going to make this swatch a lot bigger. Okay. Oh wow. Side note, look at the water from cleaning out Tiger Lily. That is neon. I'm just going to clean out this water because it's super neon. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was an intense neon. Okay, so next up we have sterling silver, and I need 2 drops of that for sugar kelp. So I'm going to grab another pipette, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it in the right one. So sugar kelp is this one. So sterling silver, I only need 2 drops. 1, 2. Oh my gosh, there's still like neon, there's still neon stuff on this paintbrush. That's crazy. Maybe I'll try to, I just don't want to contaminate my sample. So here I'll just do a little one so we can kind of get a sense of what this color is. Okay, and then we need 5 airline. So this color, airline. 1, 2, 3, come on, 4, 5. So we are done our first mix. This is a very small amount. If I've done the portions right, sugar kelp. I don't want to tilt it too much because I don't want to ruin it. Okay, so for root cellar, I'm going to need 1 gunpowder and 10 Yorkshire canary. So let's do Yorkshire canary first. So contaminated, but that is Yorkshire canary. So it's, so far it's 10 parts of this, 10 parts this. They should be pretty equal. And then I need 1 drop of gunpowder. Okay. We have finished my first attempts at root cellar and sugar kelp. Very small amounts, but I think this is good for being like a first time attempt since I've never done anything like this before. And what I'm gonna do is bring this over and we will start with sugar kelp. One thing I'm not really sure about is how to make sure that these mix properly. I'm kind of just swirling it around. Maybe I could have gotten a stick or something. If you've made some of these inks, let me know what you've done to mix them. I didn't do any research, honestly, so I don't know if I'm really approaching this properly. But let's see. Also, if you have any tips on how to use this brass pen, let me know. I'm still kind of figuring out how to use it. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? I don't know how well this matches the like official sugar kelp mix, but this is so pretty. Okay. I don't have a lot of this, so I'm gonna save the rest of this for inking up into a actual pen. This one is Root Cellar, and let me just try to give that a nice little swirl. Wow. This was described as a yellow, orange, brown, and I can see that. These two colors are gorgeous. I know they're really similar, and I guess that makes sense considering it was 10 parts of the same tiger lilies. I'm excited to ink these up, and I actually want to try some of the other mixes. Like the other ones I would love to try obviously are the browns, so like Burleywood, Timber Frame, Abandoned Shipyard, Hydrangea. I cannot wait to try all of these. I'm just so excited. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ink up my 2 pens. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sugar kelp in my extra fine Cellar. And then I'm gonna do root Cellar in my fine Cellar. Let me get my syringe. I'm just gonna move this out of the way so I don't have any accidents. And I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna bring this back over here. Okay, so we'll start with, although I guess I could also use the, yeah, maybe I will actually just use, I'll just use this. So I'm gonna do okay, so I filled this one up with root Cellar, which I think I said I was going to put in my Sailor Pro Gear Slime. This is the Kiku color. I guess I could have probably filled it a bit more, but we'll start with this. So it's probably going to take a little while for the ink to come through and be able to start writing. So I'll probably, once I fill these up, I will leave them for a bit and come back and do a writing sample. It looks like this is still actually drying. So I have an extra converter that I'm gonna pop in. Okay, so now we're gonna do sugar kelp in this one. And I don't have as much of this, so hopefully I have enough to fill this up. I'm pretty sure I do. Oh yeah. More than enough to try out this color. Just trying to get a little bit of it on here. Okay. So this one's sugar kelp. Okay, so I'm going to leave these two for a little bit just to give it a chance for the ink to come through, and I'll be back in a bit to do a writing sample. Okay, all right, welcome back. It has been about an hour or so, maybe less, and I think my pens are ready to be used. So this one is root Cellar and this one is sugar kelp. I'm so excited to see how these turn out. I'm gonna start with testing out sugar kelp. So this is described as an orange, yellow, green. It's probably a little more yellow leaning than it is brown. I thought this would actually be a little more of like a lime green. So either I maybe didn't mix it properly or it's just a little bit darker. It's not bad. I could see how this could still be considered a kelp color, but I was expecting this to be a little more green. So it's a really pretty color, but it is more orange than it is green. So a little different than what I was expecting, but I still really like it. If you have tried sugar kelp and if you have bought the Birmingham Pen Co. sugar kelp, I'm curious if this is what yours looks like, or if it is more of that green that they show on the website. I would be really curious to know what shows up for you. I'm going to use this in my long form journaling, so I'm going to attach this to my personal journal. And a little tangent, but I've got about this much left of the book to go, and soon I'll be looking for a new notebook to replace this one. So this is currently a blank sterling ink traveler's notebook sized 520 page notebook. Anyway, I'm excited to write with that during the week. And then this is Root Cellar. Looking at the dried version, this matches the website to me. So what I see on the website feels very similar to what I see on the page. So again, I'm not sure if I made a mistake with sugar kelp. It's not a big deal because I really do enjoy this color, but this is not what I was expecting. Write out the recipe that I used. Okay, so this is definitely more of an orange, a yellow orange brown like they describe. I'll show you up close. That's kind of what sugar kelp looks like, at least the mix that I made. And this is Root Cellar. All right, well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around and spending time with me as I try out these new inks and Birmingham Pen Co. recipes. I would love to know if you have experience with this brand and what some of your favorite ink mixes or recipes are. If you have a recipe that you would like to share, I would love to hear about it in the comments, and I would be so excited to try it. And Danielle, if you are watching this, thank you so much for being so generous and sharing these samples with me. This was so much fun, and I really can't wait to try out more of the recipes and eventually try making some of my own mixes as well. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye!